could be worse than Majora's Mask? It's no longer open world! Every level so far has been guided hack and slash. There doesn't appear to be any puzzles. It's familiar to Breath of the Wild, but a terrible follow-up that could very well run this franchise forever.
Disappointed. I was hoping for an open world game with the same elegance and style of Breath of the Wild. Nope, not even close. Where the original was sometimes serene, often exciting, and fostered a sense of exploration, this game is single-minded in killing thousands of monsters. The background music is never changing and boring. You have to stay in a defined path. I have about 15 Switch games, and this is the worst, and $59.99 a complete rip.
Extremely disappointing. When you think of Zelda, you think of weeks, and weeks of exploring a vast world. This game is literally the opposite end of the spectrum. I feel this was a terrible decision on Nintendo's end, and they have taken a legacy and turned it into a weekend play. As other reviewers have mentioned, you basically get the idea of how the game is going to be within the first 10 minutes of playing the game. Cons. Very little strategy involved in advancing in the game. Levels are extremely predictable and repetitive. Player leveling is automatic with no skill selection. Button mashing is the most effective way to beat levels. Storyline was explained in Breath of the Wild with little expansion. Zero free roam for exploring. Enemy targeting is very difficult to control. Pros. Graphics are pretty good. Weapon modification ability. Honestly, I am very upset that I spent money on this game. My 6-year-old absolutely loves it because he can beat on the controller and make progress. If you are looking for a true Zelda experience, just start the Breath of the Wild over again. Even knowing what to do and what is going to happen would be far more exciting than playing this game. Disappointing, boring, no free roaming, controls are horrible, nothing like Breath of the Wild, really disappointing. This is not a Zelda game. I haven't seen an abomination of Zelda of this magnitude since the Nintendo Cube. You can literally play with your eyes closed, just smashing the remote and get away with it. Just awful. Boring button masher. This is nothing like Breath of the Wild. Very boring. All you do is button mash. No exploring. No free roam in the world. All controls are different. This is for children or maybe folks who don't want to explore. I don't know who this game is for. If you love Breath of the Wild, you won't like this. At least, I don't. Wish I didn't even buy. IMO, this game sucks. This game actually sucks. Don't buy for the story. I got this game to learn the story of before Breath of the Wild because loved the hand and wanted more. I literally got the worst story I have ever seen in all my video game career. They even ruined the memories in Breath of the Wild by adding imps. The worst character in the game. The voice actor just sounds not like what I imagined her to sound like at all. The only good voice actors were the ones in Breath of the Wild. The new ones suck. And the game runs at like 15 frames per second and it shows. The OG Hyrule Warriors was much better than this. Please don't buy. I'm being honest with you. The story sucks and adds nothing new that is important. The gameplay is not good and Impa ruins almost everything she is involved in. Sorry if you really like this game.
I loved Breath of the Wild. I knew within moments of actual playtime that I would not feel the same way about Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity. Link doesn't have a sword! Nope, he fires a machine gun. It's supposed to be a sword, but fighting feels more like modern combat against the usual monsters. I spent 45 minutes playing the intro battle and put the controller down. I really hope that I will feel better when I decide to pick it up again. Terrible game. This is nothing but fighting. No exploring, no climbing, no opening doors, no puzzles to solve. Just combat. So boring and stupid. I'm immensely disappointed. It's nothing like Breath of the Wild, which I loved. And don't buy this game if you expect gameplay anything like Breath of the Wild. If you like continuously running around in circles, whacking monsters, with nothing to look forward to but bigger monsters, you might just like this game.
Not impressive at all, and I'm a longtime Zelda gamer. I have been playing Zelda games since they came out. Very untrue to the franchise and poor gameplay setup. This is not a mentally challenging or scavenging game at all. It plays almost like an RPG with constant fighting and no fun or exploring. Yes, there is more visual storyline, but that was pretty dull too. Not impressed after such a long wait and being such a big fan.
Do not bow. If you are looking for a continuation of Breath of the Wild, move on along. In fact, run. You will not find that fun and excitement in this game. It's not even close to Breath of the Wild, so I have no idea where those good reviews are even coming from, other than they are confused. It's just boring hordes of non-stop stupid battling. I fell asleep 20 minutes into watching my daughter play the same thing over and over, when I could stay up for hours watching her play Breath of the Wild. After she played 2 hours, she even put it down, hoping the adventures would kick in. She stuck it out for a while, but they did not. Her birthday is November 20th, so I pre-ordered it about a month ago for the intended release delivery date of November 20th, which didn't arrive until November 21st. The whole deal is a disaster of deception, overpriced disappointment, using the Zelda characters to sell a dust collector.
Lame. I agree with the others. Boring. No adventure, no learning hard tasks. Just button mash your way out of everything. I felt like I was playing Mortal Kombat. That's no intelligence to your opponents. Just button mash and beat them in 2 hits and fight off 100 guys at once. Stay on the trail. No climbing or exploring outside of your set task. Boring, boring, boring.
Nothing compared to Breath of the Wild. Played for about an hour and was already bored. Had it a week now and haven't picked it back up. Was interested to at least see the story to get a Breath of the Wild fix, but the gameplay is horrible. If I don't pick up again over the next couple weeks, it's going on eBay. Glad I got a physical copy I can resell. Good, if you like pushing buttons and not thinking. Listed as Zelda Breath of the Wild 2. It's basically a button-crunching game. You throw your fingers at all the buttons to take out a bunch of bad guys time and time again. No skill level or thought required to the game. Not what I thought it'd be, nor what I wanted. Too much hype up as Zelda 2 for what it actually is. Horrible Zelda game. Just got his for Christmas. This game is garbage, nothing like Breath of the Wild. Very disappointed in Nintendo. Save yourself the money and don't buy it. This game has the characters from Zelda in it, but that's it. Watch some YouTube videos first. It is not open world. It is a mission-based hack-and-slash game, kind of like Samurai Warrior. Lame. Nothing like Breath of the Wild. I haven't been this disappointed in a game in a very long time. Nothing like Breath of the Wild gameplay. Just a filler to tell the story before the real sequel comes out next year. Probably requiring another type of Switch. Pissed! Save your money. Buy anything other than this. I have always been a huge Zelda fan. I beat Breath of the Wild and decided the gameplay from this looked fun. It's not. Honestly, it absolutely sucks. This is button mashing garbage. The gameplay is jumpy. I'm hoping I like irritated since it's such garbage. Horrible. What even is this? Breath of the Wild was by far my favorite game of all time. This game is not it. If this game was used solely to fund the development of Breath of the Wild 2, then I'm all for it. Otherwise, this is going right on eBay. I'm only 10 mins in. Laggy, choppy, boring. Not the same style as Zelda Breath of the Wild. Oh man, this game sucks. I should have read the reviews before pre-ordering this, but ended up forgetting about it. It plays nothing like Breath of the Wild, and the controls just suck. No story mode and nothing that gets you into the story, just mindless, unrewarding combat. Not a puzzle game like every other Zelda game. This shouldn't really have the Zelda title attached to it. It's definitely not the puzzle type game that you'd expect from the name. More of a pointless fighting game that I wouldn't have purchased had I known. Worst game ever. Compared to Breath of the Wild, this game is boring, repetitive, and in no way, shape, or form is it an open-world exploration game. Mash buttons and kill monsters is all it is. Save your money for something else. Zelda lover, Hyrule hater. I love Breath of the Wild. But this version is awful, and honestly, I can't even play it. This might be the worst Zelda game I have ever played.
Not good for kids who need structure, long battles with no options to save mid-battle. Warning for parents, expect to have long gameplay, often over 45 minutes per battle before you can save. This is not a good product for kids who need to have structure or people who want to just have a quick play. I really enjoy Breath of the Wild and would rate that game 5 stars, but this game is very different and can cause bad reactions due to the saving problem.
Disappointing. So disappointed compared to Breath of the Wild. Feeling robbed that I purchased this piece of chaotic garbage. Not the adventure game you were looking for. Not anything like Breath of the Wild. If you are not the kind that enjoys button mashing games, this is not the adventure game you are looking for. Junk. Name. Watch, rinse, repeat. Would rather listen to a politician tell me why the other person is no good and they are perfect.
Breath of the Wild was wonderful, but this? The only part of this which was related to Breath of the Wild, which was far and away my favorite Zelda game ever, were the characters and the enemies. I am only part way finished, maybe 50%, and will probably go to the end because I can't get my $60 back. But I may decide to restart Breath of the Wild again because I hate the new version so much. I want to have the open landscape, even with the extra travel and the re-traversing ground issues. I want to visit with the store, shop, and stable owners, or other characters to get hints, help and socialize that does not exist in Calamity. I have yet to find a puzzle other than the controller combos or dungeon, and fear that they don't exist in this controller-happy, fight-only impersonation of the last 25 years of Zelda. Has it even been that long, or even longer since we went from square to square, searching for the dungeons but died if we went to the upper left corner too soon and could never find our way through the forest in the lower left? There are tons of fight-to-the-death games available on other systems, but until now, this has been how Nintendo has soared above the lesser venues. It has always prided itself to be a system that encouraged and demanded thinking above controller coordination. Sadly, no more. In addition to these issues above is the fact that I am no longer responsible for only Link. Now I have to be responsible for and play as, I think, 10 characters so far. I am required to play and train them to increase their skill, level, and equipment in addition to keeping my own stats where I hope they need to be. As if killing 200 or 300 enemies with one sword swipe is enough. Boring over and over. Come on guys, enough is enough. I have to lose this game for Breath of the Wild to even exist. I hope you have no way to erase Breath of the Wild. If I choose to finish Calamity and happen to beat the final villain here. Other reviewers say this is intended to be the style of Dynasty Warriors. So quick playing. But really, I have a Switch, not some other system. If I wanted a PS4 or whatever, I would just buy that system and the game at half the price. I want a Nintendo and I am willing to pay for it.
Not Breath of the Wild. Not like Breath of the Wild at all. Just hack and slash. Not at all like The Legend of Zelda. You just kill monsters and that's it. Just mindless hack and slash. Very boring. Not at all like Breath of the Wild. Returned the game and got a poor refund from Amazon. Game is nothing like Breath of the Wild gameplay. No thanks. Wish they would stop creating stupid filler games for in between good games. Game sucks. Horrible game. It's not like Breath of the Wild. This is the first 1-star rating I've ever taken the time to write, and I hardly ever give a rating, but I felt compelled to warn others. This game was a disappointment for me, and I was blown away that they'd actually make a Zelda game like this one. This is a button masher game, and very controlled in that you have to stay on the path. They got me this time, but I will pay much closer attention next time. Not for your kids. Parents, don't buy for your children. This particular game is a very dark storyline with many good guys being killed off. Surprised it's being marketed as a kid's game. Classic Nintendo. The fighting is a copy-pasted Dynasty Warriors which has been around for decades. Also very short, not much content. Don't buy! This game is for young kids.
Not at all like Breath of the Wild. Waste of time, sad.
not what we were promised by Nintendo. This was presented as a follow-up to Breath of the Wild. It is not. It's a button-mashing piece of garbage. Save your money, leave your Switch off, stare at the wall, and hit X and Y as fast as you can. You will have more fun.
Don't buy, just a button masher. Don't bother buying it. Waste of money. No free roam or anything like Breath of the Wild. And no, you can't save Hyrule. As the story goes, Ganon wins.
Do yourself a favor. Don't buy.
I have played every Zelda since 2 weeks after the first one came out. I have been on a never-ending adventure with Zelda a long, long time. It is nothing like any other Zelda. It is poorly made, the story is pointless, and the missions run you in circles for no good reason. If I could return it, I would. Nintendo dropped the ball on a classic. Sad.
Oh, let me taste your tears. Your tears are so yummy and sweet.
Pay attention, please.